Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy. And despite nearly being arrested, being banned from the court, he was never allowed to go back again. So despite nearly losing his ordination as a pastor, he keeps on praying. He keeps using that time to just pray. And he feels the call of God just to go back to New York City, to the dangerous streets of Brooklyn and Manhattan. And at the time, they were pretty much overrun by dangerous, violent gangs, vicious gangs, who even the police were afraid of. And standing on the streets, he was alone with his microphone on the streets of New York, preaching about the love of God and God's power to change lives. He was met with a huge amount of hostility, most noticeably from one teenage boy who went by the name of Nicky Cruz. And he was president of a gang called the Mau Maus, and they had named themselves after a vicious cannibalistic gang from Africa who were notorious. He was from Puerto Rico in South America, and he was the son of parents who were witch doctors. They practiced witchcraft in their homes. They were mediums, spiritualists, and people from all over the country would come to their house seeking some sort of miracle for their life, needed to cast a spell on someone, or they wanted to speak to the dead. Really occultish practices. And Nicky Cruz, in his book, Run Baby Run, he describes where he experienced really disturbing events throughout his whole childhood because of the kind of environment, the home life that he was growing up in. He came from a large family, one of 18 brothers and sisters, but he was singled out and told by his parents that you're the son of the devil. For some reason, they singled him out, and he suffered severe mental, severe physical abuse. And as he grows older, they cannot control his behaviour. And so they send him to go and live with one of his brothers, Frank, who lives in New York City. And he quickly finds acceptance in the gangs who initiate him. And he's well respected on the streets, but he was a violent, ruthless, murderous guy. And his probation officer told him, there's no hope for you, and they sent him to a psychiatrist. And his psychiatrist said to him, you, Nicky, there's no hope for you. You are bound for prison, the electric chair, and then hell. He hated everything, and he hated everyone. And it just so happens that as Nicky Cruz hears David Wilkerson preaching on the streets, he gets really aggressive and he says, you come near me and I will kill you. David Wilkerson's reply kept Nicky Cruz awake for nights on end without sleep, because he replied, you could cut me up into 1,000 pieces and lay them in the street and every piece will still cry, I love you.